What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, and today we're going to talk about a topic that may actually get me in trouble with the PlayStation community, but I want to dissect the hatred for Concord. This is the next big PlayStation 5 exclusive, and clearly it was incredibly expensive to make. The graphics are good, the art is pretty fantastic, the sound design seems incredibly perfect, but to be honest, the game looks awful. It looks so incredibly boring, but I want to talk about why it is. It seems like people hate this specifically beyond all the other noise in the industry right now. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, yesterday I did watch the State of Play, and it was a pretty decent presentation. Like, I ended up giving it a 6 out of 10, and a lot of it was the fact that we got a new Astrobot game that honestly looks fantastic. But what was weird is that almost half of the entire presentation, this half of the State of Play, was dedicated to Concord. Now, this is definitely a very high-priced gamble that is currently going on at Sony. They purposely bought the studio called Firewalk, and essentially they bought them to make a squad shooter, and this is the final result of that. A 5v5 character-driven FPS coming to the PS5 in August. Now, if you actually look at the trailer, it is getting downvote bombed into the dirt. This is the actual gameplay of it, and I will say again, I don't think it looks completely terrible. I think visually it's definitely almost photorealistic. I dig a lot of what they're attempting. The problem is that the game itself, we have seen this so often. Every company now is constantly trying to make their version of Overwatch, their version of Valorant, their games as a service project that will milk you season after season for boring ass cosmetics. And if you look at it, not only is it being downvote bombed into the dirt, but a lot of the comments are straight up roasting it. Wow, this game looks so generic. 1 week after this game drops, sorry, we didn't get it to meet your expectations. 6 months later, it gets shut down. Yeah, literally every comment is extremely negative. People are like, it's a parody of every game trope. Now, I found it interesting that this game, Concord, I feel like people are focusing on it possibly because that State of Play was so lackluster. Like, giving us 15 minutes of a presentation about the game and how much they're working on it. Like, people are like, okay, then why did you show other hero shooters in the same presentation? Imran Khan saying, you can't convince me they didn't show the same game 3 times. A lot of this, you got any fun? Nope, we've got hero shooters. Literally, every person is making fun of the fact that it's just so generic. Now, this is part of the inspiration for this was MBG. This guy is a very hardcore PlayStation. He mostly does like live streams and stuff on YouTube, but he has been extremely critical of it, like I'm being, and a lot of PlayStation fans are getting pissed off about that. They're giving him a lot of pushback, and he said this: I want to point out, I got a lot of support and agreement when I said I was critical of something like Redfall and questioned what Microsoft was thinking, but being met with a lot of defense and pushback when I do the same from the Sony crowd with Concord. Pretty sad, honestly. Now, I'm going to say something extremely mean here, but this does kind of look like it's going to end up being PlayStation's Redfall. It is a game that has a studio behind it that is beloved, that is trusted. I mean, apparently Firewalk does actually know what they're doing when it comes to squad shooters and stuff, but this is going to be an abysmal failure at best. Now, I almost think part of the problem is the fact that even if this does play decent, this is just such a saturated market. PlayStation has talked about the fact that they want more live service games. They want to have their own Fortnite. They said that's part of the reason they were trying to do a Last of Us living service game. There's rumors about a Horizon live service game we're getting free. And that's part of what Helldivers 2 is part of that initiative of trying to get games that make you want to log in consistently daily. Hey, log in, get your daily quest. Hey, unlock some cosmetics. Hey, participate in a seasonal event. But I think the biggest problem with Concord is, if anything, part of the detriment to it was that why did they decide to show freaking Astrobot at the same time. Astrobot actually looks fantastic. It looks heartfelt. It looks passionate. I mean, the fact that it's got so many silly nods and references to other PlayStation games, like, it's funny that if you think about this, the fact that it's going to have 80 different levels, all this, man, Astrobot looks so fantastic. And so putting a game that has heart and charm and focuses on just being fun beyond all else, and then starting it with the most soulless, weird, basic corporate mandate was such a bad choice. I almost think that if they did a reveal for Concord separate and then a reveal for Astrobot separate, maybe these would have been received differently. But I think we're just hitting that point where we are hitting hero fatigue. I talked about this a couple of years ago, but obviously now nobody likes the Marvel Universe, but I got real tired of the Marvel movies after Endgame came out. And at the time I was tweeting about it and people were being like, oh, shut up, you're a big Spider-Man fan. And yes, I have watched some Spider-Man movies since Endgame came out, but we hit this point of saturation. When everything is a superhero movie, you don't care if it's good or if it's bad, they all start to blur together. And I feel like we're hitting this with live service games. Like, yes, this is a hero shooter, which is extra annoying. Like, hero shooters kind of just suck in general, but I think this is beyond that. I honestly think that part of the issue is that since everything is trying to be live service and trying to have microtransactions and little tiny events that you participate in, and oh, here's an initiative to try and get your friends to sign up, I think people are getting annoyed because these companies, very transparently, if you listen to Epic Games or you listen to Sony's talks about engagement numbers and stuff, they're trying to bump up player playtime, even if it ends up not being a better product. Like, let's face it, if we're being completely brutally honest, the point of this is not to make a great game. The point of this is not to be fun or great or cool or epic. The point of this, very transparently, is to get you addicted to it, to get you not playing any other games. And you may say, oh, isn't that the point of everything? I would say no. When I think a lot of PlayStation games like Bloodborne or Uncharted 3 or whatever, the point is to beat it, to love it, to have bought it, you know? These games aren't about that. It's about that upfront cost, but then keeping you locked into that gameplay loop forever to keep you away from everybody else's live service game. I guess to me, not only is that boring, but at this point, I just don't get it. I think Helldivers 2 was an overwhelming success because people played it and loved it for the authenticity. It was a satirical, weird space shooter that wasn't necessarily trying to get you hooked, but you got hooked regardless because the core concepts were so freaking fun. This seems generic. This seems bland. This seems like the oatmeal of shooters. But what do you guys think? I just wanted to talk about this because honestly, I am so excited for Astrobot, and this feels like such a weird Sony L. And it's probably going to be a very expensive L when it comes out, but maybe I'll be wrong. I guess we'll find out. Hi, hope you guys have a great day. Please, if you could, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you didn't watch it already, I did do 2 videos yesterday. I did talk about the state of play, and then there was that Silent Hill transmission afterward. I also talked about that. So if you need some extra Dreamcastguy goodness, you can go watch that. I'm going to go enjoy my weekend. I love you guys very much. Have a good time, and please keep dreaming and go play some games that preferably are not live service. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.